Hello everyone, it's Eddie the Magic Monk. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to use pivot tables in Excel. But before we do that, we need to download some data to play around with. And I want you guys to go to this address, or you can simply just Google what is on this page to find this Excel spreadsheet. I will also include a link to this page in the video description. So once you go to this page, just click download Excel SX. By the way, the license for this data is Creative Commons Contribution 3.0, which means I'm allowed to copy and redistribute the material in any medium or format and give appropriate credit, which I'm doing right now. So I'm going to download this data and I'm going to open it up in Microsoft Excel, which I have already done. So this is the data that you will see if you download it, that spreadsheet. And let's just talk about what is on this spreadsheet. So basically you've got the name of officers on staff in this college, and you've got what position they hold, and you have what their travel destination is. Okay, so they went somewhere overseas for work-related reasons, and there is the reason. So business development, contract delivery, sales and recruitments, and so on. And then you have costs, how much the agency paid for it, and then you've got contribution from external sources. So how much money did they get from other sources? Not going to get into the politics of this, just want to do the numerical side of things. So what is a pivot table? Well, as you can see right now, we have a lot of data. And if you were looking at this, it's very scattered information. So the first thing we can look at is, for example, how much money did TAFE Queensland spend on just going to China, for example. So what you would do is you would click somewhere in the table, and then you would click Insert, Pivot Table, and then you can see that it has automatically selected a table range for you, which is really good. So it's already selected the boundaries of your table, so that's useful. And you can see that it's left out the four headings at the top, which is what we want. So now you're going to put this in a new worksheet and just click OK. So to start with, your pivot table is blank. But these are the fields which you can now include in your pivot table. So how do you include them? Well, firstly, we need to decide the heading for each row. So I want to now come up with a table that tells me how much money I'm spending in each country. So the row heading will be the destination. So you're going to drag this to rows. Okay, so these are now the row headings, each of the countries, sorted by alphabetical order. What do we need to know about each country? We want to know how much the agency cost is. So I'm going to click agency cost, and I'm going to drag it to values. So it's automatically come up with the sum of agency costs. If you want to see some other different things, you can also click on this drop down arrow. Also, if it comes up with something different to sum, just click this drop down arrow and choose value field settings and choose sum. If you want, you could also choose count, and that would be something like how many times have you sent someone to Argentina. Right, so this is saying that we've sent someone to Brazil twice, we've sent someone to China 31 times. We've sent someone to Hong Kong 3 times, something like that. Or so let's just test whether that's right. Brazil, it says 2. So let's go back here and search for Brazil. So that's that's Brazil, Colombia, and Mexico. So that's 3. So that doesn't count. Brazil once, Brazil twice. Any more Brazil? No, that's it. So that's correct. So now let's go back to sheet 2. Okay, so let's change that back to sum, field value settings, sum. Okay, so that's the sum of how much it costs the agency. And then let's say I also want the contribution from external sources. So drag it to the values, and you can see that it started with count. So that's how many times external agencies, external sources have contributed to going to these countries. So Brisbane, 13. All right, 13 times people from external sources have paid money to travel to Brisbane. So let's change that to, again, sum. So that's how much money has come from external sources. Quite a lot of money. Okay, the next thing I want is a calculated field. A calculated field. So then you just go to analyze, and then you just go to field, items, and sets, and click calculated field. And then I want to insert a new field that tells me the total cost, which is equal to, so delete that, which is equal to the agency cost plus, so notice I'm just double clicking on these, plus the contribution from external sources. Okay, so then you just click add and click OK, and it's come up with total costs. So total cost comes from this number plus this number. So let's just check that it's correct. So for example, let's pick this row, 12,300 plus 2,000 is 14,300. Let's pick another row, 3,110 plus 502 is 3,612. So this row comes from, this column comes from this column plus this column. So that's all done. Okay, so let's add a filter. So notice if you click on the pivot table, it comes up with all of this. Let's add a filter. So let's do the position as the filter, or you can do reasons for travel as the filter. So let's do reason for travel as a filter. So now you can simply choose a reason, and then the table will be a lot smaller. So if we choose, for example, interviews for trainers, okay, click that, click OK. And now the only row that's got interviews for trainers is Brisbane. You can also change to some other things. So for example, ICT work, okay. So that's again Brisbane. Anything else? Mobilization. So we went to these 5 countries for mobilization. What about PNG, whatever that is? Okay, so it's only PNG. Work in Australia. Oops. Anything else? Vet conference. Fiji. Okay, so you're filtering by reason of travel. Then there's that. You can also drag something to the columns area. So what happens when you drag something to the columns area is the columns will have the headings from this field. So for example, let's get rid of everything. Let's get rid of everything and let's just start scratch. So let's say that we have the position as the row. So let's get rid of the destination. Position is the row. So we got all of these positions, different positions. In the column, we want to know the destination. Okay, so these are all the different destinations. And these are the rows. And what we want to know is how much money we've spent for these people to go to these countries. So then you just select total cost, drag it into values, and it tells you, okay, we have spent, for example, we have spent executive director, training and delivery, we have spent. So firstly, you can see once I scroll down, I can't see the headings. So you can just click in the top left hand corner, okay, where you want the heading to scroll down with you. Go to view, freeze pane, and then when you scroll down you can see the headings as you scroll down. So for example, you can see here trainer certificate for leadership and development. That's how much money we spent for people to go to these places. Okay, these country names that I can't even pronounce. Papua New Guinea. PNG, I remember now. Okay, I hope this helps you guys understand pivot tables a bit better. See you guys next time.